Hello everyone, this is Steve at SteveHuffPhoto.com, and I am here today with the brand new, highly anticipated, crazy exciting camera of the year, excuse me, camera of the year, the Fuji X Pro 1, I'm sorry, this is the K-01, oh, I totally got confused. This is the Pentax K-01, not the Fuji. The Fuji is going to be coming in the next week or two, but for today we have the Pentax K-01, designed by Mark Newson, which is a funky, fat design is basically the best way I can say it. When these popped up online in the previews and the pictures, everybody was like, what the hell is that? It's basically thicker than a brick, so when people say it's built like a brick, this is actually built thicker than a brick. And the top of it looks amazingly to me, well, not amazingly, but it resembles the Leica Digilux 1, the very first Digilux from Leica. And it just has a simple kind of Zen-like approach. You have your little command dial, which changes all your menu settings and your aperture and your shutter speed. You have your top dial, which assigns all of your settings like aperture priority, shutter priority, program mode, all that good stuff. Movie mode, auto, scene mode, HDR mode, no flash, bulb, manual, back to aperture priority. The camera is very fat in the hand. When I hold it, it's not the most comfortable feeling camera, but it feels pretty good. Now I have to say, I love Pentax. I usually love the underdogs and the little guys. That's why I really don't review everything Nikon Canon, because a million other people review Nikon Canon, and a lot of times people leave out the little guys like this Pentax. Now it may look funky. Some people might love this design just because it's different. Pentax decided to take a chance and go with something different. This is their first mirrorless camera, but in all actuality, it's just as thick and fat and big as something like their K5, and you don't even get a viewfinder. So me, if I was going to buy something like this, I would go with the K5. And they're just re-releasing a silver K5 with this crazy small lens, as you'll see in a second. This is the new 40mm f2.8, and it's tiny. Let me take off the front rubber. It's a rubber cap. So look how small that lens is. Now it's not a fast lens as in autofocus speed. It's actually kind of slow. Much slower than, say, the NEX series or the Nikon V1. It's probably on par with something like Fuji X100 focus speed with this lens. It's still quick, it's fast enough, but it's not like an insane fast action type of lens. 40mm f2.8 will get you about a 60mm equivalent, and in general, you can hear what the lens sounds like when it's trying to focus. Now look at that, it just stopped focusing. I turned off the camera and it's still on. Is that a glitch or a bug? Look at that, live on camera, ladies and gentlemen. I go to turn it off and on and it's doing nothing. So the K1 that I have right here already has a glitch. That's not good. So I'm going to take the battery out. We're going to turn it on, see what happens. K1, Mark Newson. There we go again. Okay, now we're back to working. You can see how the autofocus is. Looks like the white balance is a bit off though. Looks very yellowish. I do have a light behind me, so, but I do have it should be on auto white balance. But anyway, there you go, much better. Doesn't seem to focus too close. Focus is not lightning speed, but it is a slim lens. The only problem is the camera is as like long as my thumb, if not longer. Now, like I said, I love Pentax, but I don't know if I would take this over a K5. The sensor in this is really good. The low light is really good. The picture quality is actually quite astounding with this. And if you add on the Pentax limited lenses, you're going to get, you know, superb quality from this camera. The only thing that bugs me about it is there's no viewfinder at all. And it's so fat. It's just fat. I kind of am preferring the ergonomics of something like the Nikon V1. Much smaller sensor though. This is going to give you better quality images without a doubt. But you're losing out on speed and things like of that nature, which you can see in my reviews of the Nikon V1. And look at the review of the Pentax K5 on my site, stevephoto.com. And I'm sure this is going to be very similar. So there it is, a first look at the K1. The menus are pretty much just like the K5, I should say. You got pretty much all the same settings as you do in the K5. So at first glance, when you take this out of the box, if you're familiar with the Pentax K5 and K7 even, this is going to be very familiar to you. All the controls are the same. You have your different film style, your different looks, custom image, reversal film is what I have this on. Your AF metering, your autofocus method, distortion correction, you know, all your settings are in here, 16 megapixels. So the K1 seems to be a camera that's going to look different. If you're into style, this is going to be definitely something that's going to look pretty interesting around you. This lens is super thin, one of the thinnest lenses I've seen, and the quality is outstanding of the photos. The question here is, would you take a K5 DSLR over this? So in my full review, which is going to be on my website in a week or two, I'll go over all those points and show plenty of images and high ISO and all of that. But I just wanted to give a quick first look. Again, there's the battery. Mark Newson's the designer. Your memory card, there's a rubber flap that opens right here. And my concern here is there's two thin rubber pieces. They could break off over time. I don't know if they will. It just seems like it. You pull this door for your SD card. You got your HDMI and your USB connection right there. Your camera strap lugs are over here. The flash pops up with this button right here. And there you go, you have a flash built into the camera. So there it is, the Pentax K1 in black. You can get this in like a Tonka toy yellow and a white. The yellow looks pretty cool. Looks like something you can use on a construction site. So if I was ever doing any kind of construction site photography, I'd probably want the yellow Tonka toy Pentax K1 with me. But there you go. Keep an eye on my site, stevephoto.com. I will have a full review as well as a more detailed video later showing all of the menu items of the K1 as well as some photo samples for everybody out there. So here you go. Take a look at it one last time. I hope you enjoy it. If anybody has interest in it, seems like a great camera. It's just if you can get over the design, the feel, and the look of the camera. Would you rather have this or K5? That's the question. So, talk to you later, guys. stevephoto.com. See you later.